All right. It's afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
I'm grateful to be here today to announce the launch of Everyone Counts Interactive Map, which provides an easy way to identify demographic changes that took place in Cook County on a local level over the last 5 years, between 2015 and 2020, which is the data that we have available to us. I'd like to thank the folks who've joined us today. Kevin Morrison, who's Commissioner of the 15th District and head of our Technology Committee. Tom Lynch, Chief Information Officer, Bureau Chief, where are they? There we are. Bureau of Technology. Denise Barreto, who's our Director of Equity and Inclusion. Derek Thomas, where's Derek? You're supposed to come up here, Derek, come on. Deputy Chief Information Officer, Bureau of Technology. Adam Clement, is Adam here? All right. Deputy Chief Information Officer, Bureau of Technology. Sure. Todd, how do you say your last name for me, Todd? Schuble. Director of Geographic Information Systems, GIS, in the Bureau of Technology. And Brittany Harkness, the lead GIS developer on the application. Now, before we start this, I have to say I'm a geography teacher, history teacher mainly, but I taught geography as well. So this is absolutely wonderful as far as I'm concerned. If you're looking for demographic information about our communities by zip code and by other jurisdictions that Brittany will share with us, this is a great tool. Now, last year we planned both our equity fund expenditure and then for the federal infusion from the American Rescue Plan Act. As we did that planning, it was clear we needed information to try to guide our work, right? So I asked the Bureau of Technology to create an interactive map to show us where our biggest challenges were involving poverty or unemployment and how those challenges had changed over the last few years. We did this because it's important to understand what's happening on the local level in our communities so that we can see who may need help or if our racial equity efforts are working, right? Data. This application is a major update to the county's 2010 to 2020 census demographics application. In addition to poverty levels and education, it also includes details about changes in age, education, ancestry, commuting, and home ownership. We're calling this new revamped application Everyone Counts because it's important to recognize changes in population characteristics over time because these aren't just numbers, these are people. This map also lets us see, for example, whether the number of seniors residing in a particular suburban municipality have increased or decreased and by how many. We can see the whole county or individual county commissioner districts, townships, or zip codes. We can see changes in median income, population below the poverty line, unemployment rates, and other important measures. Understanding how Cook County is changing over the years is crucial for policymakers and invaluable to our residents looking to learn more about their own communities. This app can also be used by hundreds of non-for-profits, community organizations, municipalities, school districts, and other units of government within Cook County to find ways to help meet the needs of their residents. And we invite all of Cook County to explore this app. It's now my pleasure to introduce Commissioner Kevin Morrison, Chair of Technology and Innovation Committee, and I would ask each of the subsequent speakers to introduce the person who follows them. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Madam President, and it's good to see everyone here today. I'm Kevin Morrison. I represent the 15th District in the northwest suburbs of Cook County. I again want to thank President Preckwinkle as well as the incredible team at BOT for making today a reality. As the chairman of Technology and Innovation Committee, I am pleased to see this major improvement to our interactive map, which will be available for all Cook County residents. And I can't wait to see the positive impact it has on providing services to all of our communities. The new updates, which include newly released census data, will not only help users identify demographic changes, which President Preckwinkle discussed, but it's exciting that it's going to be accessible by location, which is really critical for better policy making. Being able to better ascertain where our government could do the most good requires tools like this to keep us on the cutting edge. With this information now available to us, we will be able to legislate and form better policymaking decisions with improved precision and accuracy. As these tools are available to the public, all government units in Cook County will be able to take advantage of this. I look forward to seeing the incredible impact that it will have for all of our communities. Thank you so much. And I would like to now introduce our incredible Cook County Equity Director, Denise Barreto.
Thank you, Commissioner Morrison. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm delighted to convey the importance of this updated version of a tool, so important to the work that I am charged with leading at Cook County government offices under the President. With today's launch of Everyone Counts Interactive Map, we are taking a huge step toward my goal as the coach and facilitator of this work, and that is to operationalize thinking about equity and spreading the ownership within all the halls of Cook County government and beyond. In addition to having an easy way to identify demographic shifts taking place in Cook County on a hyper-local level, we are looking for this tool to help us and anyone looking to make investments to drive equitable outcomes across the county. As has been stated, this is an innovation to our original Cook County 2010 to 2020 Census Demographics app. With the updated branding, we are signaling in word and in deed our desire to make Cook County a place where everyone counts and is more livable for all. Everyone Counts gives anyone access to data around employment, income levels, educational attainment, housing, commuting, and transportation options, and of course, the changing demographic factors such as age, ancestry on a zip code level. For example, we just instituted the redistrict maps of our county districts. I will work closely with Todd and his team to identify updated language needs by commissioner district. When we launched our language access last year, this data informed me of the fact that 30% of Cook County speaks a language other than English as their first language, with Spanish speakers countywide making up close to 20%. And while I bet we all would have guessed or assumed that our native Spanish-speaking folks are in pockets near Pilsen or west like Cicero, this data showed us that every district except 2 has double-digit Spanish language speakers. Come back soon so that you will be able to see the language updating that we anticipate in the early year. And you may or may not remember our recent guaranteed income pilot we've been talking about. Well, we saw those materials launched in 11 languages. So exciting, and that is attributed to this type of helpful information that we can all access now in Everyone Counts app. And like Madam President said, this data represents actual people and their lived experiences down to the zip code level. We invite everyone with a vested interest in making Cook County a place where everyone can thrive to take a look at this updated tool. Perhaps it's new for some of you listening today, and use it to inform your work and investments in our county. And remember, this app captures a moment in time. So it is important that you come back periodically, as the data and features will be appended on a regular basis. I can't wait for all of you to see this, because this fulfills one of my goals of having many co-conspirators as possible in my quest for justice in this county. So let me invite our GIS lead from our Bureau of Technology, Todd Schuble, to show you now.
All right, this is Todd Schuble and Director Todd Schuble and GIS developer Brittany Harkness, right? All right, and you're not speaking, you're doing the dem? Okay, demonstration, okay.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Todd.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, CIO Tom Lynch, the Bureau of Technology. Thank you, Denise, Commissioner Morrison, for attending. I'm Todd Schuble. I'm the Director of Geographic Information Systems for the Cook County Bureau of Technology. And thank you all for attending. Before we get started, I actually wanted to give you the web address of this new application. So it's maps.cookcountyil.gov/everyonecounts. As we demonstrate the application here, I'm sure that there's going to be many questions as to why we find certain results happening in various places around the county. The purpose of this application is to really drive curiosity and investigation. Why demographic groups are increasing or decreasing, why better education is being attained, why median income is going up or down are difficult questions to answer. The application will answer the where of those questions, but the how or why, these things that are occurring in particular locations need to be looked at more closely with those that have a vested interest. I also want to give a big thank you to our development team that was behind the scenes on this. Most importantly, Brittany Harkness, who was the lead application developer on this, and also Alice Ferruzzi and JD Oldfield. They did quite a bit of work on the data and the maps that went into this. So I'm sure you all agree that the outcome is a great success. So what we're looking at here when you get to the splash page is we're going to be looking at population change by age. In this case here, we're looking at children under the age of 18. If you look at the legend, the red circles mean that the population is going down. The blue circles means the population is going up, and the size of the circle is relative to that up or down. If you want to zoom in a little bit closer here, let's look at where, and we're looking at the near west side of Chicago. Let's look at where seniors 65 and older may be increasing or decreasing in this part of the county. So if you see here, in this, a lot of what we have here is an increase in our population over the age of 65 in that 5-year period between 2015 and 2020. You can also click on any of the single dots that you see, which represent census tracts, and you can get a legend will pop up here. It'll show you what the exact percentage is. And in this case here, on this one, we're clicking on 2015, it was 8%, and it's actually gone down to 3.1% in this particular area. Let's take a look at education if we want to. And in this instance, we're looking at people that achieved a bachelor's degree or higher. So bachelor's degree, master's degree, graduate degree, PhD. And you can see, once again, how the numbers change. And so just depending on what population lives there between 2015 and 2020, that educational attainment may have increased, decreased, and you can see how that changes in different parts of the county. One other one we wanted to show you here is with poverty. If we zoom in this one, so you can see the legend there on the left-hand side with regards to poverty. So this one, in this particular case, the decrease is actually good because that means families are getting out of poverty. So if you have a larger circle there. Yes, exactly. And so what you have in this particular area here is that you have the larger the circle, the larger number of families that are coming out of poverty. And if you click on any of those one dots, but you do have still some blue smattered in there. Now, if you look down on the lower below the map, you'll actually see the actual numbers for this. So in this particular case, if you're looking at families below poverty level for the entire county, the difference is it went down by, I believe, let me see, squint there, just over 37,000 families. And you'll see a bar chart that evidence of that as well. We also have, now what we're looking at here is for the entire county, but you have the ability to change geography. So if you click on the actual top of the one there, you can choose by zip code, township, commissioner district, or the full county. So let's look at commissioner district, and let's pick commissioner district 15, which is the northwestern part of the county. And you can see there the map automatically zooms to the northwestern part of the county, and you can see there the circles pop up once again. And in this case, once again, we're looking at families below poverty level. And so you can do this for any geography that you choose, whether it's zip code, whether it's commissioner district, whether it's township, or whether you want to look at the whole county. Also important to note here, when you change geography, the numbers at the bottom change as well. So then the aggregate numbers that you see change from being from the whole county to that particular geography that is in front of you. And so you can do this for just about anything. And let's look at zip code. So let's put in a zip code. I forgot which one we chose, 60453, which I believe is Oak Lawn. Yes. And so you'll see here, you zoom in on Oak Lawn, and once again, same variables, but you can see the dynamics of those changing in different parts of the county. So you have this ability to do this on any of the variables that we have here, which are from the American Community Survey, from the U.S. Census Bureau. So we have with regards to age, ancestry, race, ethnicity, poverty, education. So some of these things can be really interesting to look at if you want to dig a little bit deeper for socioeconomic purposes, for planning purposes, whatever it may be. Ancestry is very interesting just because usually most people think of the census and they think of the racial groups that are assigned to different areas. So what if you wanted to see subsets of that? So if, say, you look at, say, the Asian population, Asia is a very large place. So if I wanted to look at particular in Chinese, Vietnamese, Indian, you have that ability now to look at those particular populations in one particular area, whether it's by, like I said, once again, commissioner district or zip code. The same goes for if you look at education, poverty, or some of the other ones we have about, housing, renter-occupied housing versus owner-occupied housing. That may be important to some. We also have vehicle ownership. So if you have, if people own 0 vehicles, 1 vehicle, 2 vehicles. And once again, these are all variables that are collected through the American Community Survey. So once again, what we've done is just re-aggregate that data at the geographies particular to Cook County. And so it makes it very, very interesting to look. As I said, you could spend a whole day sort of just perusing around and seeing how the county has changed over time and see if there's anything that really sort of strikes your interest. Any questions? Oh, one other thing I forgot. It's in English and Spanish. So we do. Sorry, if you click on the upper right-hand corner, you'll see the button up there, which can translate the entire site to English or Spanish. Sorry, Nick. Go ahead.
Yeah. Would there be? I have a number of questions. Would there be at any point other languages added for the translation of the site?
Yes, we are going to be, we intend to do updates to this site. So there is more data that's sort of rolling out. When the American Community Survey rolls out a new set of data, we intend to update it with this. Languages is one of those that we would like to add to this, and any other variables that they may add. If you've ever seen the American Community Survey, the list is extremely long, the number of variables that they carry.
I was referring to the translation aspect of the.
Oh, I see. Oh, to translate in other languages. We are working on that. Some of these are platform issues that we do have, and it's the character sets can sometimes be difficult to translate more than anything. So if you're translating into Arabic, Chinese, things like that, it may be difficult to translate, but we are actively working on it and seeing if we can get as many languages as possible, because we have over, I think it's close to 20 in the county. 20 languages spoken at home are close to that high. Actually, Denise could probably speak better to that than anyone.
Another one, I know you said it comes from HCS data. Are you talking about the 5-year set, or will you update every year as the annual sets come out?
Correct. It's the 5-year set. So this one we're looking at right here is 2015 to 2020. The next one that'll be coming out is 2016 to 20 or 20, like, yeah, it'll be 2016 to 2020, and then 2017 to 2021. It staggers in that way. So whenever that new data is available, should be extremely soon. They usually release it around this time of year. We intend to update it effectively.
Anything else? I know we have Steve on the line. Do you have questions?
Hi, yes, this is Julie Quinlan. Thanks so much for allowing me the opportunity to phone in. Apologies if these questions are redundant. I've got a really hard time hearing on the conference line. However, if the goal of this map is to influence policy outcomes, what are you all hoping to see in that area with regard to changes in housing, transportation, education, and resources and the like?
Denise, you want to take that?
Is it Denise or President Preckwinkle?
No. So, I guess the first part of it is if you're making investments in communities, you want to make those investments in the communities that have the greatest need. So this information will tell us down to the census tract level where the needs are. So that's the first thing. And then if you're making investments, you want over time to be able to evaluate the impact of those investments. And so again, you have comparative data of where this census tract or where this community was when you started and where it is when you end up. So it enables you to target investments, and it enables you to evaluate investments.
Anything else?
Thank you. Yes, just one more. I believe this would probably be a question for the development on the GIS side. Can you talk a little bit about the advantage to using the 5-year ACS data as opposed to the 10-year census data with regard to development?
Todd, you want to take that?
With the 5-year data as opposed to the 10-year data, you're getting sort of a tighter window to look at the changes that are happening on the ground. So, for instance, the 2010, if you compare, say, 2010 to 2020, that's 10 years apart. 2023 is right around the corner. Now you're looking at essentially data that's 13 years old. And so if you want something that's going to be more effective in that way, if you have that tighter window with a 5-year window as opposed to a 10-year window, it's going to be something that, in my opinion, would be more actionable. And that's why we use the 5-year instead of the 10-year.
What was the county
Thank you so much. That was all of my questions.
Sorry about that. What was the county using? Was it more ragtag census data from various analysts? Like, what was it using before this came up?
That'd be for one.
We were using this data, it just wasn't all in one place,
Yeah.
right? Like, so we were able to, like, the language access was put together based on this data. It just wasn't in this beautiful little app form that was friendly for everyone.
And what is the cost to the county to creating this tool?
Introduce yourself.
I'm Tom Lynch. I'm the county CIO. So
Repeat the question, Tom.
oh, sure. So the question was the county's cost in development. So we're fortunate in that we have a dedicated GIS staff led by Todd. Most counties don't have the wherewithal that we do to be able to have such dedicated resources. So we try to be a resource both to other elected offices in the county, particularly the property offices, but also to not-for-profits, education space, and other municipalities in the area. So all of this data, all the tool set is available. Just click up through the methods and you see the data and the methods directly there. So we expect that all of this can and will be reused by others. So it's my first point is the census data that we are absorbing is then available to be reused by others. The second is that because we have dedicated staff, we were able to do this with our own team, who you see sitting here, as opposed to vendors. Now we'll have Esri as our vendor partner. All of the platform that is supporting this application is with those tools. So there is a cost to the county both in hosting and for the licensing of that platform, but the actual development work was done by our staff in-house. So it's hard for me to give you a precise number because it's blended into their salaries, but I can certainly follow up with more detail on that.
And how many years did this take to?
So less, it was months, right? Yeah, 6 months end to end. But of course, as I think several folks have mentioned, we expect this is an evergreen application. We're going to be adding new features pretty routinely into the future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is anyone else?
Is anyone else on the line?
Going once? Twice? All right, thank you, everyone.
All right, again, geography teacher, thanks, Todd, and our Bureau of Technology, and especially Brittany, who's devoted the last 6 months of her life to this. So thank you. Thank you all.